everybody, and welcome to another interview for Turnaround Talks. Turnaround Talks is to look at positivity. There's a lot that's going around at the moment, and obviously Corona is one of them that actually can put us into negativity. There's so much news, there's so much social media, there's so much feelings at the moment that perhaps don't boost us up. So today we're actually looking at positive stories. And I have actually got Liam with us from Menphys today. And what we're actually going to do is have an interview with Liam and get some good news stories again coming from Liam. But first off, what I actually wanted to talk about is something that I picked up from The Secret. And what The Secret talks about is abundancy. And what they actually talk about as well is the art of giving. And the art of giving and the power that giving gives. Often what we give, we actually get back as well. So when we're talking about abundancy, the more that we give, the more that we receive. What I actually want to talk about as well, and just read out a quote from a book called You Are a Badass. Perhaps not appropriate, isn't it, with children, but hey, that is the quote that I'm going to pick out. Now, I've picked this one out because of the people that Menphys help. And the quote that I've got is, appreciate how special you are. So, there will never be anyone exactly like you. You are given special gifts and talents to share with the world. And even though everybody has special gifts and talents, nobody will use theirs quite the same way you do. You have a way of being in the world and a perspective that's unique to you. You are the only one who thinks your thoughts the way you think them. You have created your own unique reality and are living your life according to your own unique path. You are the only you that will ever be. You are kind of a big deal. Now, I picked that one because of all the special kids that Menphys works with, and the young adults as well that they take on a journey. And again, just for the people watching, to remind you how the donations help children believe in how special they are. But what now I just wanted to move over to is to you, Liam, after just saying that quote. And some people won't know you, some people don't know what your background is. So I didn't know whether you could start off with me and just introduce yourself to the people that are watching.
Yeah, I'm Liam Deacy from Menphys. A little bit about me. A lot of my for a decade I worked in the energy industry, and then in 2012 my mum was diagnosed with leukemia, which was a shock. But it also, to take the positives out of it, it sent me on a complete different career path. In 2013, I signed up to run the London Marathon. It was a bit of a joke between me and my dad at the start. He said, "You won't do that. You won't do that. You won't run a bath, let alone run a marathon." So that was all of the everything I needed to get going, really. And then I found out that I had a bit of a knack for the fundraising element of it. It wasn't a case of going, "Can I have £10 here? Can I have £10 there? Can you sponsor me?" It was I got a number of signed sports items, a number of signed materials, and iPads donated, and came at the end of it, and I raised £4,500 for leukemia research. So then took over the charity side of the British Gas office I worked in. So I was running the charity team there and did that for a while. But then my boss at British Gas then went to Dorothy Gunman Special Needs School as the new business manager, and then took me with her, really. Day one, it was, we need you to raise the profile of the school, bring in more businesses to support, and then raise enough money to build a new secondary school. So that was day one. There wasn't really much of a profile apart from within the special educational needs environment. There wasn't not a lot of people outside of that knew what Dorothy Gunman did. They had 300 odd students, 3 to 19, that all the way through, through the spectrum of disabilities, behavioural issues, anything and everything really. So it was, I spent 3.5 years there raising the profile, launched a campaign in 2014 called I AIM, which was about raising the awareness of the aspirations and the aims of children and young people with disabilities, to from the very young ones that wanted to be footballers or basketballers or zookeepers, up to the older ones, where a lot of the feedback that I got early on was they just wanted to live an independent life, get a job, get a house, do their own thing, regardless of what disabilities they had. That was what their aspirations were. So it was and that became a big part of my time there, was to increase employment opportunities where possible, let people know about that, and then this new school building opened in 2018. So I sort of saw that as an opportunity to move on, because it was the first instruction I got and the last one. Took a bit of a break from the charity environment for a while. Went back into marketing and worked for Jenny at Cross Productions for 18 months. I really missed it. Really missed the charity work. Really missed coming out at the end of the day, knowing I'd made a difference to the children and young people that I'd worked with previously. So at the beginning of this year, went back into the world, and then I've been at Menphys now since January the 2nd. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind already. So the 50th year of the charity, and I've spent nearly 2 months of it at home. So it's been an adventure.
So obviously you've got a lot of background in charity work, Liam. So what has been your biggest challenges for Menphys?
I think the biggest challenge is like a lot of charitable organisations and businesses at the moment. It's our hub closed, so our services were suspended. So it's that side of things of not being able to reach the children and young people that we want to. There's the income side from having the charity shops, the coffee shop, the room hire, all of the things that generated money for us as to be able to put back into the services have gone. So it's been about adapting and changing, one, our services, and two, it's been about trying to find another avenue of revenue without impacting too much on people's pockets. It's the key thing to me at the moment has been about trying to find a way that people could donate a small amount, whether it was a price of a coffee, or they could donate or participate in an event that would get them involved, because people are wanting to support. It's how they do it, and being able to go out and ask that question. So it's been a challenge, but we've had to adapt pretty quickly, really, so we can, one, continue to generate money, and probably the most important is the second thing is being able to go out and impact the lives of the children and young people that we were working with before. So it's been again, like I said, a whirlwind, but we're on the right journey now, I think.
Amazing. And I know, just from talking to you and my exposure to you, the business community, how have you found the business community responding during these times?
I think, like I said, everyone's got their own challenges, but what I have found is that they're coming together, they're wanting to support. Even though everyone's facing their own challenges, people want to participate, people want to get involved. They see the importance of the work that's being done in the charity sector and what Menphys are doing. And it's also a partnership. What I have found is that even the organisations that had come on board as a charity of the year or wanted to support us before all of this are still there. And we're having those conversations about, actually, even the ones that have said, look, Liam, we can't afford to put the money in we said we're going to, but we're going to take part in the 2.6 challenge, put our coffee money in, hold an event or a quiz night at home. So people have just adapted to it, but they have, and because it's a partnership, we're supporting them as much as they're supporting us as we can, as the best we can. But it's growing, and people are still there. That you've just got to ask the question. I've listened to a lot of people saying they've gone very quiet, and they're trying to avoid asking the question for help or offering for help, but people still want to help. It's just getting that right and showing the impact for those individuals. So it's been great. The people have been contacting me still, and just saying hello. How can they help at all levels, really? So it's been really great experience actually from the business community at the minute.
So if you had to sort of put your finger on anything that's been the most inspiring for you during these times, what would you actually say that is?
I think it's people that are doing what they can. It's amazing that they can see what benefits we're having to the young people, and despite them having their own challenges, they're still reaching out and saying, "Can we do this? Can we do that? Can we get involved in this? Where can I invest some money that is going to make a difference?" I always talk about the charity world is there's an element in the past of a black hole, where some charities that you stand there for a novelty check in a photo, and then 12 months later that same experience again, and they don't know where the money's gone in that 12 months. And people want to know where the money's going. And what I've seen is that people have got no choice now. They know where the money's going, because you've got to make a difference immediately because of the situation we're in. And it's people. I'm inspired by people that are getting involved. They can see the difference, and then the photos and the letters and the emails that we're getting from the parents that we are making a difference to now, whether it's a Meals on Wheels type event where they can have an hour's respite from cooking and have a little bit of time to themselves. That's inspiring as well, because it means what we're doing is the right thing. And obviously we've had to move pretty quickly on that to be able to adapt our services to what is needed now, not what is needed in 3-4 months time when our clubs and everything can reopen. So we're trying to offer respite, but within the 4 walls of people's house. So yeah, it's been great.
So if there has been anything positive that's come out of the last couple of months, especially with the COVID, what would you say that is?
I think there's twofold to that. It's that communities have come together. It's really great to see that people are coming together and wanting to make a difference, whether again whatever level, more personally and more within the charity itself. It's how quickly we've managed to adapt and come together. Our monthly SLT meetings and twice weekly team meetings are now daily, and that can be from 10 minutes to 2 hours, but everyone's got something to say. We're all, even if it's just a joke and a laugh and a little bit of light relief, it's great to see that we've come together, and that has helped us adapt our services, move it forward, and then make the biggest impact. So it's been really good.
Okay, so out of this, do you actually see things positive that's going to be kept for Menphys going forward?
I think if I look at the at-home services that we've started to put together, I think that has been a real positive from this, because we're impacting more families, more individual children and young people. We've really pushed to show that we can get to people, whether it's a bag of mega blocks, whether it's a Sunday dinner or whatever they need, we can try and adapt to get it to them. So we're impacting a lot more young people, a lot more children and families than we would have at this time if things had carried on. So that's one of the biggest positives we've seen from this whole situation, is we've had to adapt and change so we can allow us to hit the biggest amount of families we can who need us at this time.
Which is amazing. So when we actually look at you, and when we look at what all the good things that you've been uncovering with all of the businesses and all the generosity, what do you think's been the most rewarding for you?
The most rewarding thing for me is always, apart from the reactions we get from the children and young people, in terms of people that will just step up. You don't have to chase them and ask them to get involved. People just out of nowhere come and say, "Here goes, here's a tenner," or "Liam, I want to do some kind of event or for Menphys," or or even the people that don't ask, that just put it out there. They're just Matt Piper, who's a friend of mine, all of a sudden saying, I want to auction a signed program from his Filbert Street days. We never spoke about that. It was just there, and all of a sudden he was out there doing that. That sort of thing is always inspiring. It's always rewarding, because we must be showcasing what we're doing for people to actually want to go out and do it. So it shows we're on the right path. But every day is rewarding if we can make an impact on one child or one young person's life. It's always great when we get the feedback, or we get the photos from the families of them playing with the bits and pieces we've got out, or eating the meals, or just being able to have that time back. And for parents with children with disabilities and special educational needs, it's that time is precious to them when they can get. So we're hoping that this will open the eyes to more families, so we can help and support more families. And then when the centre is open, the respite care from Saturday clubs and the parent and toddler clubs and stay and play, we can bring them in, so that we can impact them immediately and in the long term as well, as the plan. It's anything like that is rewarding for me, because that's why I do what I do, and that's why I'll go out and ask for the money, and I'll keep asking for the money, because I can pinpoint it down to giving a business or an individual, if they want to donate a certain amount of money, I give them a choice. We've got several projects. Where best do you see your money fit in, or your support fit in? It's not just into that big black hole of saying, thank you very much, see you in 12 months. It's a case of going, well, you tell me where you want to support. This is what we've got going. This is the impact it'll have. And that can impact a 3-year-old. It can impact a 19, 20-year-old looking for employment opportunities. It all counts in their lives, whether it's at 2 or 3, or through to 19, 20 and onwards. Really, that's the important thing, and the most rewarding thing is to see that every day.
And obviously, it's coming back to the abundance, isn't it? What is wealth? What gives you satisfaction? A lot of people get an awful lot of satisfaction for giving. You and I both know Menphys really well, and there's a lot of personal stories with us both from Menphys. But for me, some businesses that are perhaps thinking, I do want to donate, I do understand the giving. Why would they need to give to Menphys? What is so special about Menphys?
I think with Menphys, because we're supporting children, young people and their families that have got disabilities. There's 41,000 plus children with a disability or a special educational need in Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland. Whether that support fits the needs of the children and young people that where they need it, really. And the families, it's respite care. If we can get, it costs us £20,000 plus a year to run a Saturday club for a year. That's about £700 a child at the moment. If we can get £700 from a business for a year, that's one place filled for that child for a year. That's every weekend respite care for their parents to go out and do what they want to do, spend time with other members of family, go shopping, or just have that time to themselves. But every penny that we get in, we're trying to get out to support. And the more money we do get in, the more children and young people we can impact. It's the younger children, it's that social interaction piece, whether from Saturday clubs and from parent and toddler, and that togetherness piece, and relieving that isolation. Obviously, we're seeing a lot more isolation now, so we're having to do it differently, but the clubs offer that relief from isolation so they can spend time together. But because it's a journey all the way through to 25, we're with them every step of the way. They can dip in, dip out, but the volunteer program have been able to bring them in and give them the skills they need, CV writing, experience in the coffee shop, through to employment opportunities like we've got with the Work Ready crew, where they're actually going out and experiencing what life is like at work. There's every step of that journey there, whether it's respite and social interaction, through to independence and earning a wage and doing what they want to do. And because we don't, we've the breadth of the charities, the whole of Leicestershire and Rutland, we need the money to grow the services. Obviously, we've got the hub in South Wigston now where we can do clubs. We've got the Barleycroft Saturday Club in Beaumont Leys, but we want to start impacting Hinckley. We want to start hitting Loughborough. We want to spread out our services to go to where the need is, rather than them having to travel over to Wigston or Barleycroft for those services. So it's important that we grow. It's a charity that's been around 50 years, and we've had to adapt over the last 3 or 4 years to things being different, which has meant that we've changed our approach to things. But there's still all those children out there that need supporting, and we can do that, but we need the funds to be able to do it. The other thing about it is, for me, is that it's being able to work in partnership with businesses. It's not about accepting the check and then disappearing. If we can help them along the way, or we can, even if it's just a thank you letter, telling them where that money's gone, not saying thank you very much. It's just, here you go, here's a certificate. It's saying your £1,000 that you've given has enabled us to do this. And that's the same with people that participate in events. We did the 2.6 challenge at the weekend. We've raised about £1,800 so far. But £1,800 pays for 2 young people for a whole year in Saturday clubs, or at the moment 120 sensory kits to be sent out to children and young people. The £400 that Matt raised from his raffle, his auction of his program, we went out and bought 36 sets of mega blocks that that have been delivered to families this week. It's little things, but it's what families need at the moment, and we just want to grow that and reach more children. But unfortunately, there's a lack of money at the moment for that, and we've got to go out and get it. But things like the raffle that we've put on, the stay-at-home raffle, it's a donation of £1 plus, but you could win some Apple AirPods, or you can get something back. It's not just a donation. There is a chance that at the end of that, you could put £1 in and get a £200 set of AirPods out of it. So it's just making things different than just going, yes, please, thank you very much. It's other opportunities. One of the things I learned back at Dorothy Goodman was that an organisation came to me and said, look, we can't raise a lot of money. We can't do it. We haven't got the staff. We haven't got the impact. But we have got a training branch, which was a bank, a training bank that your young people can go and use. But so I was like, well, don't worry about the donations then. That's fine, because these young people can go and use that bank, learn how to use a bank in a safe environment and a quiet environment. So they learn the skills that when they have to go into a fully working bank, they've already learned some of that in a safe environment. But when we did that we can't raise any money, went from £2,000 to £3,000 pretty quickly, because they could see the impact it was having. And that's the same approach I'm taking with Menphys, is that we are growing. We are it's a Phoenix charity at the moment, because we've sort of disappeared over the last couple of years while we get into the hub and we changed our services. But we just want to grow and hit more children and young people, but with a purpose at the end of it, to say your money has delivered X, Y, and Z, or ideally on some points going, come in and do something. Come. You can't afford to give as a donation, but you can have one child in for a day's employability skills and work experience. Great. It all makes a difference to the lives of these young people. That's the key thing for me, is that every penny that comes in is that we try and we've got to pay overheads and we've got to pay salaries and everything, but a majority of what we're doing is to try and drive it straight in, straight out, to make a difference to the lives of these children and young people.
And I think that is what is such a good news stories about Menphys, is the direct impact that it has on the children. And as I say, when you talk about the generosity of the businesses and certain people like Matt, who's actually given funds to go and give bricks, to go and Easter eggs, and I know that there was even meals that were even donated, maybe
Mm.
not by Matt alone, but there's a lot of businesses that have been helping, which is really, really positive news to know. So
Yeah, and some of that money is then going forward to when we do reopen. That they understand that it's not making an immediate impact, but again, we can still tell them that if you've given £700 towards a young person, once that reopens, that's that young person paid for 12 months, whether that is January to December or June to June. It's making a difference. So it's every penny that people are giving, whether it's impacting now or it's impacting in 3 or 4 months time, is massive. It's massive to us to be able to deliver, and it's massive for the children and young people that it's impacting. So yeah, it's great.
oh, thank you, Liam. It's nice to hear about the things that the community are pulling together, and how a charity like Menphys can help so many. Obviously, the Menphys means a lot to both you and I, and like
Yeah,
to hear what's happening out there. So thank you.
no problem at all. Anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for
Right,
that.
bye bye then. Bye.
Bye.